Hello everybody and welcome to another Expanded Guide. Travis and I are back. I did the Daniela video all by myself, and let me tell you, it's a marathon when you're doing it all by yourself.
It's a marathon sometimes when we're doing them together, Justin.
Yeah. So then I was like, I'm going to wait for Travis for the next one. But we're here with Norman Withers, and Travis, as the resident seeker mystic, why don't you talk about who Norman is? Hey Russ.
Hey Russ.
You came to join the video?
Come on up, bud.
Yeah, these are the videos you're allowed in here.
Yeah. Norman Withers. He's got 4 brain, 5 book, 2 fist, 1 foot. You play with the top card of your deck revealed, and once per round you can play the top card of your deck as though it were in your hand with a -1 resource cost. And forced after weakness is revealed while on top of your deck, you have to draw it. Can't commit things from the top, you can only play them.
It's a good ability.
Yeah. His Elder Sign effect is +X. You may swap the top card of your deck with a card in your hand. X is the resource card on the top card of your deck. So, honestly, it's garbage. Doesn't really do anything. Sometimes you can, save a resource.
Yeah.
But, it's not good.
No, because it kind of just, it will help you pass a test, maybe once in your 20 times of triggering it, you know? Yeah, so it really doesn't do much.
But honestly, it doesn't need to be good. The rest of his cards, this is great.
Yes, yeah.
So, you have your standard 30 deck size, and then you get Edge of the Earth deck building, where you get Secret cards level 0, Mystic cards level 1 to 5, neutrals, and up to 5 other Mystic cards at level 0. And then you have to have your Livre de Bon and the Harbinger and the Rand-based weakness. Livre de Bon is a 2-cost asset, takes up 1 hand slot, item Relic Tome. As a lightning bolt, you can exhaust it to swap the top card of your deck with a card in your hand. And as a lightning bolt, you can exhaust it to commit the top card of your deck to an eligible skill test performed by Investigator location. This is a really great...
it's really good.
It's a really great signature to have for a couple of reasons. It takes up 1 hand slot, so it doesn't really limit you from doing other things like some other of the unique assets do. It's a tome, so it's easily accessible to him through Research Library, and you can actually kind of build around it, which is neat. And the ability itself is it's good.
It's good if you're using it on its own, and it opens up busted if you pair it with another tome we'll be talking about later.
Yeah, we'll get to that one.
Yeah.
a while from now, actually.
Yeah. But, even on its own, it basically just reduces the cost of a card in your hand by 1.
Yeah. No, honestly, I think this is an incredibly well-designed, unique asset, a lot better than most of them. It doesn't, it's got a cool, unique effect that can change the way you play, but because it's a tome and the existence of Research Librarian, you can, find it reliably, compared to something like Shrewd Dealings for Bob, where, it completely changes the way you play, but you have no real way to find it for the most part.
Yeah. Definitely.
And then with the Harbinger, as a revelation, you place this card on top of your deck, so, you force, when it's after a weakness revealed, you have to draw the Harbinger, and then you put it on top of your deck.
Yeah.
Cool, thanks. And while it's revealed and on top of your deck, cards in your deck cannot be searched, drawn, you can't manipulate anyway, except with the Harbinger's bomb ability. There's 2 actions. You can discard the Harbinger. This ability may be activated while the Harbinger is on top of your deck, as if it were in your threat area. From what I understand, because it is as if it's in your threat area, other people can activate this as well.
Yes.
Honestly, this is a pretty good personal weakness, I think.
Yeah, it's very interesting because there's a lot of times where you're just I'm going to have this guy sit here for 1 or 2 rounds, and then sometimes you're okay, this guy needs to go right now. But he's very interesting. It's a very unique weakness for a very unique investigator.
Yeah, no, I really like the design of this compared to some of the other investigators who just have random enemies or whatever.
Yes.
And they're Guardian, just come kill it.
Yeah, whatever. Father Mateo with his Serpents of Yig.
Yeah, kill this or no Elder Signs for you.
Yeah.
But no, this one's really nice in that you actually have play around it. There's decisions to make with it. It's not just it actually affects you. It's not like some of the weaknesses that do nothing, and most of the weaknesses that do nothing, I would argue. And it also doesn't just kneecap you.
Yeah, so. Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah. No, we have strengths and weaknesses.
Oh yes.
Don't touch that button. He's got a great stat line: 4 brain and 5 in your do something stat. Good place to be. We have 1 in our garbage stat and 2 in our other garbage stat. So
yeah, it's a really good stat line.
It's a really good stat line.
Yeah, and it's so nice because he turns into a mystic. He doesn't have the mystic thing where it's strange because it's not actually contested, right? Because you have 5 books, so you just use your 5 book. to investigate, right? You don't have to like bump up your book like Marie Laveau would have to, or just commit to only using your brain. You can kind of do a bit of both.
Yeah, Norman Withers actually, it pairs, his stat line goes really well with his upgrading, and that it really smooths out that sort of transition where you just use your book, because this is what you do with all the level 0 cards, and as you get higher level purple cards in your deck, you use your brain more.
And
those cards inherently make your brain better in a lot of cases.
And he's easily the strongest of the 5 Edge of the Earth investigators. I think the only one that I would say competes with him would probably be Daniela, just because she's a really good fighter. But his... I
can only remember 4 of them right now, so it's probably him, yeah.
Did you miss a Monterey Jack?
No, it was Lily Chen.
Lily Chen, yeah, that was my number 2 guess.
His weaknesses, his card pool is a little bit awkward, being the Edge of the Earth deck building.
Yeah.
We just talked about how it's smoother than for some of the other Edge of the Earth investigators, but it's still kind of awkward transition from using primarily your book to primarily your brain, if that's what your deck's doing. Their downside is Norman isn't respected by his peers. They think he's crazy.
Yeah, it kind of you have to kind of embrace the fact that you're playing a wimp when you choose to play him.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 2 fists, but...
Yeah, but like a social wimp.
He's just angry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you show up with other Seekers and they'll make fun of you.
Yes, and they should. They should. Because Norman Withers,
he's a little bit crazy.
He's a little bit of a baby.
Really a character.
No. All right. Oh my God. Can I read that? I think that says this. All right. We're into the core set. So I will say, if you see that little stamp in the top right corner of a card, that means you can find a link to it in a video down in the description. There will be a staples. There will be spells and getting clues in this video. There will be no weapon ones.
No.
But no. Okay. I'm gonna double. I'll put the bet down on that.
Spirit Team didn't make it in.
It actually might have, but I don't think it's in the weapon video. So we have magnifying glass. It's a seeker staple. You get +1 book while investigating. Just very good. Actually, though, the thing about Norman Withers is that the hand slots are more competitive because like he actually wants to hold like tomes, like 1 tome and then another tome.
It works out relatively okay though, because like a lot of you're fine to eschew some of the lower level yellow hand slot stuff in exchange for the high level purple.
Exactly, and also like just magnifying glasses only cost 1, so even if you eventually get rid of it, it still is going to do a lot of impact. Research Librarian is the card that Travis mentioned to help you dig up your tome, the Lever Devon, and any other you might be running. Doc Milan Christopher gives you a book and resources when you successfully investigate. That's cool really nice. Mind over matter, you get to use your book in place of your fist or your foot. So turn those 2s and 1s into a 5.
Like a promise of power for your foot.
Yeah, and this is like good Seeker. I've always liked this card. That's a good Seeker, combat interaction.
I actually really like the level 2 version. I've been playing it occasionally in my Seeker decks.
Nice,
It's like an enemy panic button.
Yeah, what does that one do? Does it add and draw?
It adds your book and
then
draws.
Replaces it? Yeah, that's really nice. We got Working Hunch. You just gotta discover a clear location. Working Hunch goes up in value if you ever can play it for cheaper, right? So that's why like Joe Diamond likes it, and why Norman Withers also likes it, because he can play this for 1. And 1 discover clue is a great rate.
Just have in your deck.
Yeah, and if you draw it, like because you can't play it in a moment, your signature can put them back on top of your deck to make it cheaper.
Or you can just commit for 2 books.
Or you can just commit it for 2 books, exactly, because you're gonna find better ways to get clues way down in this video.
Yeah.
We have Deduction. It's a staple. Get more clue. Do what you're gonna be doing. Shriveling. It's one of the spells. Norman Withers. He kind of like what's his stat line? He's a 6/8. So like Shriveling will probably be your choice over stuff like Azure Flame, but a lot of these spells can kind of come down to like dealer's choice for a lot of these things.
Really matter. In a lot of cases, you're probably not even going to be playing levels or Shriveling if that's what you're doing.
Yes, yeah.
You're going to look at like taking in the thick of it to take Brand of Thugger or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
But you definitely could play these with Down the Rabbit Hole. It's just awkward.
Holy Rosary gives you more brain. Arcane Initiate helps you dig out more spells. Those are all good things. Okay, you're getting a little bit wild.
As always with Edge of the Earth Investigators, you generally want your level 0 slots to be cards that you're not going to take out of your deck.
Yeah.
Or upgrade. So it's just awkward with purple because they like to upgrade their things.
Yeah, I mean, like, I suppose, like, if you're planning on going into, but, like, Travis is 100% right, because you actually don't... I was going to say, you could, like, use Down the Rabbit Hole to upgrade your Shriveling, but you have Edge of the Earth with Norman, which has In the Thick of It, and Down the Rabbit Hole, and Brand of Cthulhu and Divination. So, like, you kind of already have what you need there.
Even doing that locks up 3 of your purple slots.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Which is not great.
Yeah, so, like, yeah, it's... It might, like, if you don't have more options and you need it, but...
You
have
could
better
do it.
stuff.
I wouldn't do it, but
Yeah.
you could.
You could. Ward of Protection. That is, however, probably a good one that can be in your Mystic slot.
Yep.
Just cancels the Revelation effect on a Treachery that you drew. Non-weakness. We got the skills, the neutral skills, Guts, Perception, Unexpected Courage, the stats you're going to be using, and then the Wild, which can help anything. Emergency Cash gets you more money. Flashlight can help you investigate more. And then our only Mystic upgrade here that we had notable in the core set is the Grotesque Statue, which lets you reveal additional tokens.
It's just good.
Yeah, just a good card. Just nice and good.
Yeah. Dunwich. We got our laboratory assistant here. This can help you play some hand-sized stuff. It's also just like draws you 2 cards
That's
and
a
then
great ally.
like dies.
Yep.
Especially when you can play it for 1. Disposable allies are really nice for Norman because you can cycle. They're so convenient.
Yeah.
Dr. William T. Malison fills a similar role where his ability is like so, but man, 0 for a 2/2
Dude, is really nice. Yeah. And I mean, all this stuff does, because I've never played with his signature fairly. Because I mean, I've only played Norman Withers twice, right?
Yeah.
But using it to just reduce costs of things actually does seem like kind of sick.
Yeah, you
know?
can trim on your economy, have more cards actually do things.
Yeah,
Feels
it
pretty
seems good.
We've got I Got a Plan here. This is a solid combat option at level 0 for him. You have 5 book, which is... It's fine, man.
Yeah.
You're probably getting clues because you got 5 book.
Yeah.
So...
And then you have things that also boost up your book, like a Perception, which you can use in your I've Got a Plans, which is flavor dissonance, but still good.
Yeah. Preposterous Sketches is here. This is a little bit outclassed. This is very outclassed these days. But it's still like fine with Norman Withers, especially if you have a more limited collection, mostly if you don't have Innsmouth. But yeah, like any of these 2-cost cards that cost like half as much, or the 1-cost cards that are free, are like really nice for
Definitely.
Norman.
Yeah.
So Shortcut, again, fast, it's free. You just
Move.
it's just good, yeah. Inquiring Mind is a solid skill. We have Alyssa Graham, who is a neat purple option for Norman Withers if you want to play sort of a Doom archetype with him. It boosts his book for those early stages of the game, has some Doom synergy moving into the later series, especially if you have Scarlet Keys expansion, which won't be in this video, but you know. Yeah, it's like the purple ally that gives you book, which is... It's kind of funny that purple can't get brain at level 0 anymore.
Yeah.
They can get other stats.
Yep. The Mystic problem.
Yeah. Red Sea King is your level 0 clue getting spell. It's just fun. You know, it's in the spell video. Jewel of Aureolus is a neat accessory slot. It's one like I'm more likely to play it Norman than other mystics because you don't necessarily, because you have 5 book, you don't need to lean totally into brain, which puts less pressure on you to play like Holy Rosary or
Crystal Pendulum.
yeah. Though you still might want to play St. Hubert's Key.
Yes.
Even though it's expensive.
Yeah. But I mean, like, Jewel of Aureolus is a very good card that just doesn't get played because...
The other options are so much better, yeah.
Yeah.
We have our level 4 Red Sea King. That's Red Sea King, but better. We have 3s and 5s for Shriveling. They're just better. Level 5 Warrior Protection. It's just better than the level 0 one, like I'd hope it is.
Yeah.
This one cancels everything.
Trying to go to the next slide, Russ? No.
He's impatient. Then we have Relic Hunter and Charisma. Neither of these are like particularly important for Norman, but they're both just like fine. Purple has lots of neat accessories, so the Relic Hunter is neat.
Yep.
You know, yellow has a lot of neat allies, especially if you're playing sort of a disposable ally thing, and Charisma might be nice. But neither of them are like priority upgrades for him.
Yeah, definitely. All right. On to Carcosa. Russ, you want to do this one with me? All right, so we got Fieldwork, which I've actually been playing a lot of recently. Because Travis is always like, I love Fieldwork. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give Fieldwork a try. And
I look at this card and I'm like, this card's like 5 or 6 unexpected cards just for nothing.
And that's the thing, right? Like
it's so good.
It's just 2 money in an action. And
doesn't even take a slot.
Yeah, and you'll get like a bunch of unexpected courages out of it.
Sometimes you can like scum things, right? Where you're like, I'll just move in your location and my guy's only got 2 or 3 foot, but like I can pass an evade test now because I got 4.
Yeah. No, it's very good. And it's one that you should just play because... It's good.
It is.
Yeah, and it'll surprise you. Anatomical diagrams, they can reduce fight and evade for a non-elite enemy location if you have 5 or more sanity. Norman does have a lot, so this will likely trigger. And this allows you to kill rats or also just make things easier for your fighter. you know?
Yeah. Again, this card's like not a great card in general, but it's a lot better when it costs 0.
Yes. Logical reasoning. If you have a clue, you can heal 2 horror or discard a terror from a player's threat area. Nice card. Helps your rogues out. Also does healing in a pinch. It's a very nice card. No Stone Unturned lets you look at the top 6 cards of your deck for a card. If it costs 1, that's even juicier. Oh boy.
Yeah. Not as nice as it once was, but...
Yeah. And then we got Eureka, which you get to look at the top 3 cards of your deck. It's successful and just, replace it. Oh, sorry, Eureka. There we go. Yeah, so it's a good card. I love Eureka, and I played a Norman Withers because it has great symbols for him. If it had been like this is the question is, does it have Brain and Book? Yes. Then it's great for Norman Withers.
Yeah.
David Renfield is a really good economy option. If he has, you can exhaust and place a Doom on him, and you gain a resource for each Doom on him. If he has a Doom on him, he gives you +1 Brain. He's also incredibly easy to kill.
Yep.
Which is just great. You know, if you're playing, if you're like, I heard the taboo list, David Renfield is tabooed. I have to say, if you're a new player watching this video, you could probably just ignore the taboo list for a bit and just like play with cards as they are printed.
Yeah, I would consider playing David over Dr. Milan.
Yo, definitely. Yeah.
Depending on what my deck's trying to do.
Yeah, especially because like purple cards are expensive. And while you do have a lot of the good Seeker economy, they're still expensive.
Yeah, Norman's ability like kind of naturally pushes you towards wanting to play events.
Yeah, definitely. St. Hubert's Key, this is the card that we just referred to, which is a great accessory slot. You might notice it puts up your Brain in your book, and that would be correct. Wow. It does. So then you can have a 5/6 stat line, which is like so good because you can use your spells just like with confidence. And then you're like, this is a 2-shroud location. I'm just going to be up 4 on standard and pass every test.
Yeah, also you like show up to scenario 1, you're like, I have 6 book.
Yes, and the game's like, all right, I'm going.
Yeah, but what about your defensive stats? You're like 5 Brain. They're like,
it's like, we're going to get you with that 1 foot, and you're like, ward of protection.
Yeah, that's what your wards and your denies are for.
Yeah. And then because it does reduce your sanity by 2, if you are defeated by horror, you discard St. Hubert's Key and immediately heal 2 horror. That can happen. It probably won't, but it can. And if it is, it's kind of nice because it just like, it actually gives you not actually 4 horror healing, but it kind of like maths out, like it feels like it does, you know, because it's just like, wow, I just gained 4 more sanity than I had before. Now, Quantum Flux, you can shuffle your discard pile into your deck and draw a card, remove it from the game. It costing 0 is really nice. It also replaces it, draws a card, but anything that I like Quantum Flux in any Mystic Investigator that you're kind of scared of your weakness and you kind of just want to like reset your deck, or alternatively a Mystic that's using a lot of events because then you get those events back into your deck. Storm of Spirits is a kill spell that just like kills everyone around you. It's dynamite, but you have to make a brain test for it.
Yeah, this is a nice inclusion for that 5th Mystic card sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's always the one like, if you ever have to do 5 of something, figuring out what your 1 of is going to be, and a Storm of Spirits would be a great one for that. Where no key of use? What? I guess maybe I missed it.
Maybe.
I was like, one day I've always been like, I'm gonna just put 1 key of use on like every slot on a page, but I've just never done it. So, watch as I forgot that it's on the next one.
Yeah, it's still time.
Uncage of the Soul allows you to play a spell or ritual card, reducing its cost by 3. That's economy, baby. The upgraded Arcane Initiate, it can enter with 2 horror on it instead of the Doom if you want to play it earlier. Otherwise, it's costs 1 less, so you don't get a benefit from your ability, but still having the versatility of where you want to put the Doom or horror is very nice.
Yeah, it also holds like a unique place where like it's the upgrade where you can commit your level 0 purple slots to something else and then still have access to Arcane Initiate, right?
Yeah, so definitely. Time Warp, level 2. Undo an action after someone has resolved an action on their turn. Really fun.
It's fun.
Yeah. It's flavorful. It's cool. It's like a nice purple card, and I like it because this is the one time where they're like, we don't know how this exactly works, but we don't care. We just want the effect to exist, and I think I love that.
I do also appreciate that like they've managed to explain it. Like it just makes sense too.
Yeah.
Like you want me? I couldn't explain how it works rules wise exactly, but like I play this and I know what to do.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. And then we have the level 2 Ward of Protection, which you can use on any Investigator's Treachery card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This common doesn't really apply to Ward Protection because it's all just a good card. But some of those higher level versions of cards like Arcane Initiate that aren't usually worth the upgrade or are considered like luxury upgrades, hold a special place for the Edge of the Earth Investigators, again, because you don't have to commit the level 0 slots to their level 0 versions and still have access to them.
Definitely.
Which is really nice.
All right, into the jungle with Norman Withers. His favorite place to be.
Got Dr. Ellie Horowitz. She searches the top 9 cards of your deck for a relic asset and attaches it to her, and then each relic asset attached to her does not take up any ally slots. Your Livre Divin is a relic.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah. And then there's other relics in the game too.
There are, yes.
We got Persuasion. This one's a 2-cost event that lets you parlay. You choose a non-weakness humanoid enemy in your location, test book 3, gets plus X difficulty where X is the enemy's horror value, and if you succeed, you shuffle the chosen enemy into the encounter deck, and if the chosen enemy is elite, you automatically evade instead. It's just like a solid way to deal with enemies.
Yeah. I also like the flavor. If the enemy's scary, it's harder to talk to because you're like, oh god.
Norman Withers just comes up and starts ranting about the stars, and he's like, I'll just leave.
Yeah.
This guy's crazy.
Have you heard about the stars? They've got missing. The guy's like,
Truth from Fiction is a nice way to reload some secrets. Better than like full secret investigators, but there are some mystic cards that care about secrets. So we have Arcane Research, which is definitely a choice. What are you doing, Russell?
Don't trust him.
Yeah, you can tell. It's a purple staple. Yeah. These do count as your purple slots level 0 though. So.
Yeah. So, but notably as well that it's not when you buy a new card, it is not upgrading. So like your first one's gonna suck, right? But then your next one, you'll hopefully
especially
get ahead
also
of it.
have Down the Rabbit Hole.
Yes. Yeah.
My level 1 brand cost me like what? 2 experience.
Yeah.
And then your level 3 version or your level 4 version only costs you like 1. It costs you 0.
Because it would cost you 0. Yeah.
Sick.
We did the math. It still works out. It's still awkward, but it works out.
Yeah. Enrapture is a really nice level 0 skill for your purple slots. Is Practice, which comes up with every yellow investigator and every yellow-purple investigator, and
you'll see why.
Yeah,
you'll see why
if you don't already know. But push charges on an asset you control or secrets. Usually you're playing this for the secrets, but charges really nice for Norman. For some of those spells. We have our level 0 and level 4 Miss Aurelia. This is just an evasion spell. It's good.
Yep.
Yeah. Recall the Future is a 2-cost asset that costs 2 experience to put in your deck. As a reaction, when a skill test you are performing begins, if Recall the Future is ready, you can name a Chaos token. And if the named Chaos token is revealed during the skill test, you exhaust Recall the Future, then you get plus 2 skill value for this test. This one can be like a little bit tedious to play, to figure out the math for sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty good card in general.
Yeah, it's just like a lucky that's locked onto specific tokens.
Yep. We have Seal of the Seventh Sign, which seals the auto-fail token, uses 7 charges, and if it has no charges, or at least play, you remove it from the game. And Force, after one of the other 4 symbol tokens are revealed during a skill test, you remove a charge from Seal of the Seventh Sign. Very fun card to play.
Yes, especially with how quick Bryn breaks it.
Yeah. I don't play it anymore. You notice that?
Yeah, no, I wonder why.
Just to throw my experience into the void. Speaking of the void, we have Shards of the Void.
Yeah!
This is
That's Travis throwing his card away.
Come on, buddy. This is just a combat spell. It's a little bit convoluted in how it works, but it's a combat spell.
Yeah, it's a fun 0-based combat spell.
Is this not in the spells video?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll explain it then. You steal a 0 token on it when you play it, and it has 3 charges. In action, you spend a charge or release one of the sealed chaos tokens to fight. Uses brain instead of fists and deals +1 damage. You get +2 brain for the attack for each 0 token sealed on Shards of the Void, and for each 0 token revealed during the attack, you can seal that token on Shards of the Void, and the attack deals 1 additional damage.
It's fun.
It's fun.
I wish that...
You have to work a little bit to try and get those zeros more consistently, but...
Yeah. I think if this had a level 0 version, this card would see more play.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little bit difficult to justify not getting, like, your primary combat spell until, like, you have 6 experience to spend on them, when you could just, like, have Shriveling and then have Bear Shriveling and then
have like Shriveling for, like,
best
1.
Shriveling. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have Counter Spells. It's a fun event. Fast, you play when one of the non-auto-fail Chaos tokens are revealed during a skill test your location, and you just cancel it. Don't reveal a new token to replace. This was kind of like they drew a 0.
Yep.
It's nice. It's nice for those important tests. Sacrifice is a great economy card for Mystics. You discard a Mystic asset you control, and you either draw 3 cards or gain 3 resources or some combination of that.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, it's a great way to get rid of some Doom cards and also just...
Empty spells, too.
Yeah.
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 We have Hemispheric Map. This is an accessory.
It made it into a video.
Yeah, this is the one. This is a relic, so Ellie can find it.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
While your current location is connected to at least 2 other locations, you get +1 brain, +1 book.
Wow.
Those are the things.
Yeah.
And while your current location is connected to at least 4 other locations, you get an additional +1/+1.
Wow.
So, like, depending on your campaign, this can be pretty solid. It's a nice upgrade out of, like, St. Hubert's Key, because it does a very similar thing without the sanity loss, and sometimes it's better.
Yep.
But again, you're going to have to... This isn't like a blind play card. You want to know what you're getting into before you bring it.
Definitely.
But, like, Edge of the Earth, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of... Yeah, there's a lot of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, on to the Circle Undone.
Those powerful yellow cards.
Look at them. Wow, this is blinding. There's so much yellow here.
They're so good.
All right, so we got Fingerprint Kit and Hawkeye Folding Camera. These are both options that are in the clue videos that are just like one-handed ways to help you improve your stats.
Yep.
Hawkeye Folding Camera is certainly not bad in Norman because he actually uses his brain, so he actually gets to like the thing first. He'll immediately benefit from it, and then you'll eventually get the +1 book too. Mr. Rook is just a bonkers... just an absolute bonkers of a card. And he's also actually really good in Norman because your weakness is like it's probably one of the best weaknesses to draw when you want to. Because you're just like, it's here now,
Sometimes.
you know? And then it's like one of those things where it's just like, you just also just roll 9 and grab a card.
And like a
from
lot
each
of
time.
them are better when you get to pick one to draw them.
That is true. That is true.
Most
Except for never the hoods. Never the hoods. You never want to draw the hoods.
I mean, like, no, I would take the hoods. Like, when I don't have any other enemies, right?
That's true, yeah.
If you're just, like, first action, you go find the hoods, and then you're, like, just beat them to death in your second and third actions, like, nothing else to do that turn, that's good.
Yeah,
you don't have to care about man. We're not scared of drawing your encounter card.
Yeah, but I suppose also, like,
Or your
the
upkeep
way of
card.
getting Mr. Rook and Rita, we don't even want. It's not...
It does make you less likely to draw the hoods.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, just get some versatile. Let's go. Ultimate Hoods tech. Scroll of Secrets is a great card if you're playing with the taboo list. If you're not playing the taboo list, it costs an action. But otherwise, you can just, you spend a secret, look at the bottom card of any Investigator's deck, and then you either draw it, discard it, place it on the bottom, or place it on top.
Yeah, honestly, like, I view this one as a errata, not a taboo.
Yeah, it feels like it should be.
As an action, it's kind of unusable.
Yes. Yeah.
So...
we have the Occult Lexicon and the Blood Right. This is a bonded card, which means that, Blood Right is set aside, and then when you play the Occult Lexicon, you get to put a Blood Right into your hand, and then 2 other get shuffled into your deck. And Blood Right, just draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards from your hand for each card thusly discarded. You either gain a resource, you can spend a resource to deal damage to enemy at location. It does not provoke attacks of opportunity. It's a nice way to kill enemies. Like, it's just like,
Lexicon's a pretty good card.
Yeah.
It's very nice as your 25th card, just to have as another tome to find off of your research librarians.
Yeah, you also don't need to think about it. It's just like this card already is a one of. You don't need to decide you're one of. It's just it's a very efficient way to deal with enemies.
A lot of things.
Yeah, don't listen to the propaganda on our Discord channel. Everyone who says that it's bad is wrong.
People say this card's bad.
Everyone in our Discord channel says it. Yeah.
Why?
They'll probably on Saturday they'll tell you. They'll probably ping you and be like, Travis, and then you'll be like, you ruined my Saturday for this.
I shoehorn this into my deck I'm bringing on Saturday, I guess.
We got Crack the Case. This is a staple. It's a good way to just get resources for who needs them. When the last clue is discovered on a location, you get resources equal to the shroud value of the location. Connect the Dots allows you to get burst clues. After you discover the last clue of the location, you get to discover 2 clues at a location with a lower printed shroud value than your location. Yeah. Bonus points if you trigger this off the top of your deck without using your signature to do it. That's like a Norman Withers achievement from Xbox, like for sure.
I mean, this one, I do think just because of his signature, this card goes up in value considerably.
Definitely.
It's usually a little too expensive at 4 resources, and for even for Joe Diamond, it's awkward to play it too because you can't choose when to play it.
Yeah.
But Norman's like he kind of gets the best of both worlds in that. Also, he just has 5 books, so getting clues off of a high shroud location and be able to get the 2 clues off some other location is relatively easy for him.
Yeah, and I suppose also with connect the dots, you don't. It's probably the best way to use it is, strangely enough, to only play if it exists, if it's in your hand, right? Like if it's in your hand, you'd be like, okay, I'm gonna leave 2 clues on this location and go here. But if it's not in your hand, you probably don't want to leave those 2 clues. So, but like if it's in your hand, you could definitely play around it very easily with Norman.
Yep.
Knowledge is power. You can choose a tome or spell as you control, reveal one from your hand, and you get to resolve the action or lightning bolt ability in that asset, ignoring all costs, including its action cost, if any. Then if that asset was in your hand, you may discard it to draw 1 card.
The card's kind of silly.
It's the card that was like, just with my simple brain, they're like, this card's broken, and I was like, okay, I believe you.
Look, read it.
No, I know, but the thing is, like, whenever I look at, like, tomes or spells, I'm just like, they're in play, and yeah, I can use it as a thing, but, like, the capabilities of, like, breaking it to the point where it's, like, you know.
It doesn't even have, you don't have to, like, break it. You're just rolling around doing mystic stuff or whatever, and then an enemy shows up, and you're like, haha, I'll just attack you with a shriveling in my hand.
No, I know that's good. No, but I mean, like, the stuff that's, like with, like, research notes where, like, the stuff that I would never fathom with myself as a player, because, you know, I don't think like that.
That's fair.
But, like, yeah, no, free actions are always good. Free actions are, like, top, especially when they're on, like, a 5 experience asset. Or the Necronomicon.
To swap a card in your hand from the top card of your deck. It's a lightning bolt.
Wow.
With your signature.
You could. Even if it was in your hand, you could switch it with it. You could put the Livre de Bon on top of your deck.
Oh, no, man. And then you can discard it to draw it?
I don't know, man.
Can you do that?
I don't know. I'm done. All right, now we're on the purple side of the Circle Undone. There's a lot of good stuff for Norman in the Circle Undone.
Yeah, it's a good cycle overall.
We have, look at me learning and putting the spells together.
Wow, good job, Justin.
We have Sixth Sense and Wither. These are the spells from this cycle. Sixth Sense is like a very good card in the upgraded version. It's just like no charges, gives you +2 and potentially gets you multiple clues without spending charges. That's really good. And Wither's here too.
I'm playing Wither in the deck right now.
I know.
I don't think it's that bad in that deck.
No. So the upgraded Wither actually does deal additional damage in a way.
Yeah.
Right? It does deal additional damage. However, like,
I'm going to play that too.
Which one? The upgraded one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured as much. Yeah.
Good.
Because you have Down the Rabbit Hole, right?
And the 2 arcane.
Yes, it makes sense. Like, this is practically free.
It is basically free.
But because these don't cost actions, they're just like really good ways for you to deal with small things. These are very nice in a Norman Withers where you're caring about events because they're both relatively cheap. You can put them into play and you can just like use them infinitely until the scenario's done.
For them.
Yeah. Deny existences, the staples, they just ignore game effects. You can discard cards.
Isn't a staple.
I was just like, I'm not going to put this here. I was just like, I actively chose it.
You just copy and paste it though.
Well, no, it's actually just a button I click on a Photoshop to show the layer, and I was just like, I'm not doing that right now.
Oh, okay.
I actively chose.
Okay.
So at least I can answer. I don't know why, but I just did. But these let you discard cards. Stop discarding cards from hand, losing resources, losing actions, taking damage, or taking horror. If you do the level 5 version, you get to do the opposite. So if you discarded cards from your hand, you draw that many instead. Likewise for resources, damage, or horror.
So as they've gotten more creative with like ways to hurt players and stuff like that, I have it so ingrained in my mind that deny existence is just like bad thing doesn't happen. And sometimes I'll draw a card that like makes me discard an asset from play. I'm like, I'll just deny existence. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it doesn't stop you from discarding things from play. Yeah, it's only from hand. Yeah. Prophesy is honestly a pretty good practice skill. Because by the time that you're going to want 3 icons, there's probably 6 Doom in play anyway. It just basically scales the amount of Doom in play.
It's fine.
And if you're putting Doom in on your assets, it becomes better if you can force it to trigger earlier.
Yeah, it's basically like a practice on Unexpected Courage.
Yeah. Divermus Mysterious. This allows you to you can place Doom on it as an action to play a spell or insight event from your discard pile, reducing its resource cost by 1. And if it resolves, you remove it from the game. Just get to do more with your events. In a spell slinging Norman deck, it's a tome, so you can dig it out with Research Librarian, so easier to build around.
It's really nice to get all the high power spell events from purple and all the good level 0 insights from yellow.
Yeah. So notably, it doesn't work on reactionary stuff. Like you can't, deny existence, but you can do active stuff with it. 4 Cups it's a tarot card that puts up your brain. Nice and easy.
Yeah.
All right, 2 more here. We got the upgraded Scroll of Secrets. It gives you 4 secrets, and you can also now look at the top card of top or bottom card of any Investigator's deck or the Encounter deck. So there's some manipulation there, and then you can either discard it, add it to its owner's hand, place it on top of the bottom of its deck, or on the top of the deck.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I think this was like these were here mostly as like a homage to like Garbage Norman Withers deck.
Oh yeah,
with
definitely.
The book version.
Yeah, I mean, like it's one of those things that like it's expensive. In the it's an expensive upgrade, but if you are playing down the rabbit hole and you have these, the level 1 version is a secret card, so it doesn't count against your mystic stuff, and you could upgrade into this, and it's like dirt cheap. And if you're playing with Taboo, it's not awful. Like it's certainly much less good than
active good as a lightning bolt.
Yes, yeah. It's like, obviously the Seeker one is like bonkers in comparison. But Encounter deck manipulation should not be like ignored, right?
Well, you don't use it to manipulate the Encounter deck, right? You can use it to like, either you can like look at the bottom of your deck to see a second card if the one on top isn't what you want, you don't have things in your hand, or use it to like help your teammates filter through their decks.
Yeah.
You know, Monster Fighter lost his weapon or whatever, like you help him find another one. You don't have to take a break from what you're doing.
Yeah, but I mean, like even beyond that, even beyond like card selection, Encounter deck manipulation is a powerful effect. That like if there's like times where we've played and it's just like we have 3 cards here and we need to dodge an Ancient Evil. You know, just getting one more look, right?
Yeah. It's happened more than a few times. We're like, we just won't do it.
Yeah. We're just like, I guess this is just good luck to us. And then we have Banish, which I just don't mind me as I lean in to read.
Yeah.
Evade, use only on a non-elite enemy. It's an evasion spell. If you succeed, move the enemy just evaded to any location to play. That's a good ability. If you succeed and one of the bad symbols was revealed but not auto-fail, it does not ready. Okay, so it follows the Circle Undone. Makes sense. Where there actually are positive effects on the tokens. This card doesn't seem bad. You know, it's an evasion spell that could potentially free somebody.
Play from this one in the future.
Wow!
Maybe. It's a maybe. The way experience looking at our campaign,
I believe. I think everything's going to come up Millhouse tonight. All right, on to Dream Eaters.
I like this cycle. We have Astounding. We only have 2 yellow cards here. Wow. We have Astounding Revelation. It's myriad, so you get 3 copies. Can't be played. And as a reaction, when you search your deck and Astounding Revelation is among the searched cards, you discard to either gain 2 resources or place a secret on asset you control. Honestly, just great as a one-of. You don't have to put 3 in. Just put 1 in for your research librarian.
Yeah, definitely.
And then your research librarian is free.
Yep.
And
it's not bad.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
Search top 9 cards of your deck for a practice skill. Commit to the skill test. Fable. Shuffle remaining cards back in your deck. After the skill test ends, if it's successful, get the skill back to your hands instead of discarding it. You get all the most powerful level 0 ones. And by that I mean Deduction and Promise Power. Can't play level 2 Deduction.
No.
But
like, there's a way around that.
Yeah. But also, like, do you really need to?
No.
Like,
because, like, you make up for it with, like, Burst Clue potential in the Mystic class as well, which is very strong Burst Clue potential that can come, right?
Yeah, we have our Scroll of Prophecies here. This is another tome. Takes up 1 hand slot. 4 secrets. As an action, you spend a secret. Choose an investigate location. Have them draw 3 cards and discard 1 card from their hand. I think this card's, like, very important for Seekers in general these days. Cause they
or Mystics?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
But significantly less important for Norman because he gets all the juicy level 0 yellow stuff. Yeah. We read the Signs and Spectral Razor. I'm pairing these together because they're very similar. They're both staples. They let you add your brain to the skill value for investigating or fighting, and then you either get an extra clue or deal extra damage. And then they do another thing too that's sometimes neat, but you know, it's mostly the extra clue and extra damage you're here for. We have Stargazing. This is an Insight and Augury, max twice per game. You can only play if there are 10 or more cards in the Encounter deck. And then you search your bond cards for 1 copy of the Stars Are Right and shuffle it into the top 10 cards of the Encounter deck. The Stars Are Right, when it is drawn from the Encounter deck, you remove it from the game. You choose an Investigator, and that Investigator gets to draw a card, gain a resource, and take an additional action, or an immediate action as if it were their turn. It's like, nice.
Yeah.
You're like banking an action now for like 2-ish actions later.
Yeah, because it stops an encounter card, which is a nice effect, and it gives someone else an action, cards, and resources. So it's one of those things where
yeah,
it feels I don't know, this card is a dream. Like, it's not a great card. It's not I think the card's fine. It becomes nicer when it's like you can just see it on the top of your deck and you actually don't need to draw it, right? It goes up in value for that.
One thing I will say with this card, this is a great card to play like with new players because it just makes the game more fun for them.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
It's not like a good... I mean, it is a good card. I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not a great card.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good card, especially at higher player counts when you're more likely to get through the... You're gonna get through the encounter deck 2 or 3 times in a scenario.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, this is a great card to play with newer players, especially if they are constantly complaining about the encounter deck. And you're just like, hey, sometimes it might be good.
I do love both of us kind of basically like just saying like the card's fine. You're like, it's not good, but it's not bad, you know?
Yeah, like,
it is strange. Because like...
It's not like a good card, but I don't think it's bad either.
If someone played it, I would never be like, what are you doing? Right?
Yeah.
I'd be like, cool, right?
Yeah, but I struggle immensely to find room in my deck for this card.
Yes.
So.
Because then it's happened a lot of times where someone plays this and then you get shuffle the discard into the encounter deck and you're like, well, now we're probably never seeing this. I love when that happens, yeah.
And you got Word of Command. This is a 2-cost event for 2 experience. You name a spell card, search your deck for 1 copy of the named card, and draw it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. Twilight Catherine Price. She is a Mystic Ally, 3 experience for 1 heart, 2 brain soak. As a reaction, after you spend 1 more charges from a spell asset, you can exhaust or replace charge on that asset. This one could be really nice for like divination builds for Norman.
Yeah.
To make sure you keep getting that book boost or whatever.
Yep.
And just get your 1 clue.
Yeah. And even if you're like just using other spells that have charges, like, and a free use of it each turn is really nice.
Yeah, she's a really nice ally. And Lucid Dreaming.
Wow.
It's a 1-cost event. You choose a card in your play area or reveal a card in your hand. You can search your deck for another copy of that card and draw it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is great, like, if you're, I mean, like, with stuff like this, and, like, it's kind of funny that this and Word of Command, they're kind of, like, they can kind of fill the same hole in a deck, which is, like, an additional copy of a spell that you need, right?
One really neat thing about this is it can, like, you can, like, purchase 2 of these and then use it as a way to, I mean, it's also a spell, which is nice for all the Mystic synergies, but you can use it as a way to, like, find, because I believe Fantasy Flight finds a copy is, like, by name, right? Mm-hmm. So you can, like, reveal level 0 deny existence, go find level 5 one.
I'm pretty sure, because...
I think.
Well, this one is actually I don't know about that because this one is name a spell card, but this one is a copy of that card. I actually don't know the answer to that. I actually don't know, but I think that does work for Word of Command. But I don't know about this one. But someone maybe will let us know down in the comments.
Yep. Either way, it is good for like doubling up on your high if you sunk a lot of experience into 1 card.
Definitely.
1 pair of cards.
Yeah.
Really good with the customizable stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. All right, into Innsmouth. Everyone's favorite because it's which one?
The 2 best cards aren't here.
Well, they're never in your list. I never put them here.
Why would you not include Promise, Power, and Deep Knowledge?
Well, because they're part of our detailed breakdown of the Blessed Curse cards.
I mean, like, yeah, you're going to be playing those in your Blessed Curse deck, just like you're going to play with every Norman deck.
Yeah. So the cards that Travis is talking about are Deep Knowledge and Promise of Power. Deep Knowledge is a 0-cost Seeker event.
It's an insight.
That's an insight that you choose an Investigator. They draw 3 cards.
No, you put 2 curse tokens in, and then Investigators at your location draw 3 cards.
Yeah.
Combined.
And then Promise of Power is you commit it to a skill. It's 4 wild, and you just put a curse token in.
You stumbled. I'm like, I know you know this one.
And if you can't put the curse token in, you take 2 horror, but just don't do that.
Just don't play other curse cards.
Yeah. But otherwise, there's a bunch of other stuff that exists with Bless and Curse in the Mystic and Seeker stuff. You actually could probably do a pretty good Paradoxical Covenant with Norman Withers because there's a lot of good Seeker 0 Curse stuff.
He actually also is one of the Investigators who benefits really well from the curse spells.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you have a yellow support for them.
Yep, for sure.
So.
But then otherwise, here are some other notable cards. We got Sword Cane. It's does not provoke attacks opportunity when you play, and after Ender's play, you can immediately trigger its action ability without paying its cost. You get a fight or evade, and you get to use your brain instead of your fist or your foot, which is good because it's so much higher than the other ones. This is just a good like beat stick if you need to like keep things down and you want to protect yourself a bit. Hand slots are a bit more contested in Norman, but it's still not a bad option.
So you can get Dr. Ellie to hold it.
Yeah. Ellie, go.
Hit him with the stick.
We got Eldritch Sophist. This is a 4-cost ally. You can move secrets from or charges from an asset you control to another asset controlled by an investigator or your location. There's a really fun thing you can do with him to have a never-ending Seal the 7th sign. You can just keep putting charges on it as people break them, which is kind of like a fun build you can do with it.
Yeah, he has access to a couple of cards that are really nice, like secrets batteries.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and I think
even charge battery, like there's a lot of charges too that you can like take advantage of with it.
Okay, I realized as I thought this question in my head, it's a stupid question, but does Scroll of Secrets use secrets? Or charges?
Yes, I think it uses secrets.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does the purple one use secrets or charges?
I think it also still uses secrets. Let's find out.
Because that would be actually neat.
Wow, secrets.
Damn.
It should use charges, you're right. It really should.
Purple.
And they should have changed the name to Scroll of Charges. We got Plan of Action, which is a versatile practice skill, which works with practice makes perfect. If you commit it before or during your first action of this turn, it gains, or just a turn, not even just your turn.
Yeah.
It gains Brain Foot if it's the middle, between the first and third, so second. You get to draw a card. If it's the third or after, it becomes a Fist Book, sorry, that it can come with it.
Yeah, just a fine skill.
Yeah, definitely.
I actually find myself playing this a lot just because it's like more interesting than Unexpected Courage.
It is more interesting than Unexpected Courage. It's true. Yeah. We got Abyssal Tome, which allows you to fight. You can use your brain or your book. Yeah, this is Fish Book, as we call it. And you initiate this attack. You may place a Doom on it to a maximum of 3. You get +1 skill value and deal +1 damage to this attack for each Doom on Abyssal Tome. I think this would actually be a really fun Norman build to watch him blast people away with Fish Book.
It'd be actually this really neat Norman where we roll around with like Devermis Mysterious and Abyssal Tome and like Sin Eater.
Yeah. I mean, like, what would be really sick with Devermis Mysterious is you get so many uses out of Moonlight Ritual.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really sick.
You could have a Elru Bash and you can like just like put the Abyssal Tome on when you don't need it and take it off when you do, so it counts having a Doom.
That does seem sick. And then our last card here in Innsmouth is Ikak. This is the Council's Chosen. 3 cost, 3 experience. You get +1 brain and +1 book. That's really good.
Yeah, honestly, you could just... If I was playing Ikak, I'd just play it for the stats.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
That's a good rate for 3 experience, man.
I'll keep reading the card. You get -1 brain and -1 book for each weakness beneath her, and then when an investigator location draws a basic weakness, exhaust her, cancel that weakness's effect, and place it face down beneath her. Its owner must draw it if she leaves play. That's the problem. I just look at her as stat ball, right? Because like her rate of stats is really good.
I think she's good just like as a stat ball, and then you're just like, hey, you have a weakness in your deck that will kill you.
Yeah.
If you happen to draw it, like I'll just tuck it.
Yeah. I agree as well. Like if it's like, oh, this is gonna actually ruin our game, it's okay. I'll just lose
you draw
this.
a Dread Curse or whatever, like I don't care.
Yeah. But if someone draws like a...
You draw Doom, like, okay, maybe it can go into this game.
Yeah, actually that's
draw
a good
Overzealous, like, yeah, maybe we could just put that here for
we'll just slide it under her nice and quick. Yeah, definitely. But otherwise, she's just a really good stat ball. All right, Travis, into the cold Antarctic wastes with you.
Only 2 of the yellow cards made it, huh? I got Jeremiah Kirby. He is sort of a mirror to Dr. Milan a little bit. Cost 4 still. You get +1 book still. He takes 2 heart in the brain instead of 1 heart in the brain, and 2 brain. And as a reaction, when you enters play, you choose even or odd. You reveal the top 5 cards of your deck and draw each card with a cost that matches the chosen option. Shuffle the remaining cards into your deck. This one is like has slightly modicum more value in Norman because you get to see the top card of your deck.
All right.
Yeah.
Always draw 1.
Yeah. Written in the Stars is a very fun event to play, actually. It's 1 cost, fast, you play only during your turn, you discard the top card of your deck, and if that card is a weakness, shuffle back in your deck. Otherwise, for the remainder of your turn, while that card is in your discard pile, you commit to each eligible skill test you perform. It's really good when you know what the top card of your deck is. And even when you don't, it's pretty solid.
Dude, I should be playing this in my junk min deck just because, like, you put stuff in the graveyard to scavenge, yeah.
No, I had a blast playing this card in that Amanda deck. Where
I love
spin the wheel.
Yeah, no, it's really fun, and I mean, like, it doesn't have to be a skill card that it just commits like other cards. Like obviously, it goes up in value immensely when you can commit what you want to commit. Yeah. Right. But it's still just a fun card.
Yeah. Sometimes you just like hit the deduction. You're like,
yeah, let's go 1.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's no clues on our location.
Yeah. Here's down the rabbit hole that we talked about a bunch. It's permanent, limit 1 per deck. You can only purchase it at deck creation. And after each scenario of a campaign, you reduce the experience cost of the first 2 cards you upgrade before the next scenario by 1. And then you also have to increase the experience cost for you to purchase new cards by 1.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are upgrading your level 0 deny existence to your level 5, it only costs you 4 experience. But if you don't have deny existence in your deck, you want to put level 5 in, it costs you 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have Pocket Telescope. This one lets you look at the revealed side of a connecting unrevealed location, which is the reason that you would play it. You can also investigate revealed connecting locations, which is kind of neat, but the top lightning bolt to cheese scenarios is the reason to play this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heavy Furs is a solid card, I think, for Norman at level 0. It takes up your body slot, which there is actually no competition that we've seen.
Yeah.
Not even Backpack showed up.
Not even Backpack.
Yeah.
You have your research librarian to find the items you want.
Yeah, Robes of Night might show up, I don't remember. But
I think it does, yeah.
Yeah. And after you reveal a non-auto-fail symbol on a Chaos token during a skill test you're performing, you deal 1 damage to Heavy Furs, and you cancel that Chaos token, return it to the bag, then reveal a new Chaos token. Can help you avoid getting just, like, some of the really bad negative token effects. Like, sometimes they're like, oh, -3, put a Doom on the agenda, and you're like, not this test.
Yeah, yeah.
Got Winds of Power. This is a 2-cost event. You place 2 charges on an asset you control, and after you draw Winds of Power during your turn, you can play it. Commits for 2 brains, just like a solid reload card.
If only there was a way you knew when you could play this.
Yeah. It's like you knew when you were going to draw it.
It also, It also let me really good with the signature, because you could just put it on top and be like, well, golly me.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's only when you draw during turn, because you can't... I do kind of dislike that, so you can't, like, just luck it during...
Yeah,
upkeep.
no, honestly, that's a mistake.
Yeah, a little bit. We got Close the Circle. This one is a 1 experience asset. Takes up an arcane slot. It has uses 1 charge for each class among cards you control, including this one. So Norman is yellow. You're guaranteed at least 2 on this.
Mm-hmm.
As a lightning bolt, you spend a charge and exhaust. Close the circle. Take a basic action for each skill test performed during that action. You may use your brain instead of the skill indicator for that action. It's like a nice way to get extra actions, and it's not too difficult to get some of those other...
Yeah, like, if you're playing, like, Blur,
colors.
you could look at Close the Circle as well.
Pocket
Telescope. Yeah.
Thugga.
Yeah.
Lots of options in this cycle, exactly.
Yeah. Which is lucky, because it's in this cycle.
It is, yeah. No, it works out well.
Yeah,
It's good.
Let's go.
I guess you could play Enchanted Blade.
You could play Enchanted Blade. Let's go.
You could. We have Foresight, which is a card for Norman.
It's so good in Norman.
Yeah.
It's like illegal. This card should be illegal in Norman Withers.
Maybe the next one should, but fast when you play it. Play when an investigator at your location would draw a card from their deck or the encounter deck. You name a card, and if the drawn card is the named card, the investigator may either cancel that card's effects and discard, or immediately play that card at a -2 cost. Basically, when you're going to draw a top card of your deck, you play this, and you're like, it's that card, and then you play it.
Yeah. It stops all weaknesses, which is, like, illegal in my mind. It's crazy.
I mean, it stops.
So, yeah, it's cancels the revelation effect and the card's discarded. So if you're going to draw your weakness, you say, the Harbinger. You say, overzealous.
I don't think you can.
No, you can.
Why? It's on top of your deck. You can't manipulate it.
No, because you have to draw it first, right?
No, because you flip it up and it's on top of your deck.
Because you draw the weakness, it has the revelation, then you put it on top, right? Because it has that revelation part to it first.
This is wood. You haven't drawn it yet.
Okay, maybe not. I mean, I'll have to check about the Harbinger, but it doesn't work on
other
all the
weaknesses
way. Yeah.
make sense. The Harbinger specifically, I don't think this works on. Or at least it shouldn't. But, like, who knows?
Yeah, I thought it did, but I'm not going to take any stock in my ability to get rules in this game right.
Actually, like, they have given up on explaining why the rules work the way they do.
Yeah. We are no longer the rule channel. We are the cool channel.
We were never the rule channel, Justin.
And we're never the cool channel. We're never the cool channel either.
No, we're just the volume channel.
Yeah, we just yell.
Lots.
We make a lot and we yell.
Yeah,
and we
get excited.
Yeah, and we say Charlie Cade hunting vampires.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Here's Astronomical Atlas. This is like the card to play in Norman Withers. If you play Norman Withers, you're probably playing an Astronomical Atlas deck your first time.
Yeah, it's really good.
And probably like your second and third times too, even if you're not trying to abuse it. It's just a really good card for him.
Yeah.
3 cost, 3 experience, conveniently the amount you can get from in the thick of it, and you just start the game with your deck done. Just silly.
Yep.
Takes up one hand slot. It's a tome, which is really nice because you can usually go find your research librarians, find your unique asset, and also this.
Yep.
And as a lightning bolt, you exhaust Astronomical Atlas, look at the top card of your deck. If it's not a weakness, you attach it face down to the Atlas, max 5 cards attached. And also as a lightning bolt, you can commit a card attached from the Atlas to an eligible skill test. If that test succeeds, add that card to your hand instead of discarding it. I think you can use this to commit more than one card to other people's skill tests.
Yes, that is one of the 2 cards that lets you do that.
I hate that rule, but okay. Yeah, the reason this card is very good in Northern Withers is because you can have this and your unique asset in play, and then you have deduction on top of your deck, and you activate the Atlas and put it under the Atlas, and then you investigate and you commit the deduction, and then you succeed, and it comes back to your hand, and then the next turn you use your signature to swap it with the top card of your deck, and then you put it under the Atlas, and then you investigate, and you do that every turn for the rest of the game.
Yes.
Yes. It's like half as many turns as it's supposed to be.
Yeah, there's actually now also, we're not talking about the Scarlet Keys cards here, but the Ghastly Possession card is even more disgusting with Divination, and you just keep reloading your Divination.
Yeah. I mean, you can't do that in Scenario 1, though.
No, that is true. Thank God. Thank God.
Yeah, work a lot harder for that one.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I love that there's a lot of spells here.
Yeah, still. We got Parallel Fates, 2-cost event. You look at the top 6 cards of any Investigator's deck or the Encounter deck. You can either return them to the top of that deck in any order or shuffle them into that deck. If you look at the Investigator's deck, the Investigator may draw a card. It's a card you can play.
Yep.
Got Grounded. It's a 3-cost asset. 0 to play. It's fast. Limit 1 Composure in play. It only applies to you, right?
Yeah, because it would be group limit otherwise.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, +1 skill value during all skill tests on spell cards, and non-direct and damage and or horror has to be assigned to ground before it can be assigned to your investigator. As a lightning bolt during a skill test on a spell card, you can spend a resource, get +1 skill value for that test, and it soaks for 2 and 2.
Yeah, 2 and 2
nice.
Soak.
It's free soak, and you just get +1 to all your stuff.
Yep.
You get +1 brain, which is nice. Hey,
hello, Bryn.
Hello.
Oh, I love your socks.
Thanks.
Little toucan socks.
Next up, we got True Magic. This is another Tomes. This is a primo build-around investigator for this one. Mm-hmm. Uses 1 charge. You replenish this charge at the start of each round, and you may resolve abilities on spell assets in your hand by revealing them from your hand. Treat True Magic as if it were the revealed asset. Takes up a hand slot and an arcane slot. That's okay, because you don't need either of those with the system play. I'm not going to talk about this one too much, because you just put out a video a couple days ago about like 5 decks with this, so if you want to hear more about it, go watch that.
Yeah, and one's a Norman deck.
Really? Yeah, good.
Yeah.
It'd been kind of funny if I said it was like one of the best investigators for it, and you're like, nah.
I mean, anyone that played Research Librarian, I was like, let's get in here. Yeah, there was a gym deck.
Yeah, I know.
But no, the Norman deck was definitely there.
Yeah. And then we have 3 spells here that fight and investigate and evade. And they all have, the level 1 version has, they all have the same, damn it.
Nah, they're in the spell video. They're in the spell video.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah,
Justin.
they're all there.
Divination is the good one for Norman.
Yes, it's very good because you can use your book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Earthly Serenity is those other ones, but it heals you.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the Survivor one, good. And we have Prophetic, Sleuth, and Antiquary. These all are level 3, and they all have 3 different classes. They're multi-class. They all have 2 uses, 2 resources, and you replenish those resources at the start of each round. The resources on each of those cards may be spent to pay for one of 3 different traded cards, and as a lightning bolt during a skill test on one of those 3 traded cards, you can spend a resource, get +1 skill value for that test. Prophetic does Fortune, Spell, and Spirits. Spells, there's quite a few of those, and a handful of spirits as well. Sleuth is Charm, Tactics, and Tomes, and lots of Tomes. That's one of the things we did. And Antiquary is Favorite, Relic, and Rituals. Less than spells and Tomes, probably.
But there's still relics and rituals, yeah.
Still a handful.
Man,
good number of them.
I just love the design. Like, just imagine the designers in like some sort of like evil castle, and they're like, let's show those content creators who's boss, and just make these crazy tricolor cards.
I think these cards are actually really well designed.
I love them too. I think they're great. I always love hearing us describe them.
Oh, easy one, Justin.
I'll do the investigator one too.
Okay,
because you deserve a little vacation after that. We're into the return 2 boxes, which at this point now I will say are looking like they're being discontinued completely. So if you are interested in picking them up, I would just like, if you see one in the store, grab one.
I wouldn't be surprised if sometime in the future we got like just a little pack, just like all the player cards.
I agree 100%. Or they'll like send it to Games Enter as well. They're going to come out again, but right now there seems to be no plan. But I agree with Travis. They're going to be here again eventually. Arcane Studies, you can spend resources to get Brain or Book. It's also 0 to put out. Also, once again, this kind of fits into that same kind of box where this card is a lot better when you don't have to draw it.
Yeah.
If you can play this off at the top of your deck, it's a lot nicer than it being a card in your hand that you have to play. Mists of Rel and the Rite of Seeking, these are the middle options. They're both covered in the spell videos, which we have pointed you guys to multiple times here because there's a lot of spells for a Mystic Investigator. Who would have guessed? Sign Magic takes up a hand slot. You have an additional arcane slot, which can only be used to hold spell or ritual assets. After you activate an action ability on a spell or ritual asset, you get exhaust Sign Magic and activate an action ability on a different spell or ritual asset you control without paying its action cost. Really fun build around. This works really well with the Circle Undone spells. Who would have thought from the Return to Circle Undone? But it also can work with other spells very nicely as well. Also, I have to go back because I already completely forgot. True Magic is not. I was like, oh.
No, it's
no.
Relic. Yeah. Dr. Ellie can hold it.
Yeah. Oh, Dr. Ellie can hold it.
Free up to 2 slots.
We got the Hierophant. You have it's a tarot slot, so you get 1 tarot slot. You have an additional arcane slot, and your arcane slots can be used to hold accessories and vice versa. And it's a tarot, so when it begins, you can put it into play from your hand. Just if you want more of it, you can do it in this way. And then we got the upgraded Storm of Spirits, which is just more good, exciting damage. Okay.
It's a lot.
Yeah. We're about to enter my least favorite part of.
Is the part where you're like, hey, it's a 0 for it's clairvoyance. Wow.
But now I put them all on one slide. I'm like, here's the slide I hate. All right, we have Arcane Enlightenment, which actually is like really sick for Norman Withers if you're planning on doing like not using your spell slots but instead like doing spell slinging.
Books.
You get maximum increased hand size. You have an additional hand slot which can only be used to hold a tome asset, which we've talked about a lot of good tome assets here. The Solano Fragments, it is a tome. Wow. And if you have 5 or 10 or more cards in your hand, it gives you Book and Brain. If you have 15, you get an extra book.
15 is going to be a pipe dream, but
Yeah. But 10 is, I think, very doable. Because you have Laboratory Assistant, you have Arcane Enlightenment. Disc of Itzamna, it takes up your accessory slot and it deals 2 damage to or automatically evades an enemy that spawns your location if they are not elite. This allows you to kind of just go do your own thing. You're like, I have my magic necklace, no one can hurt me. Feed the Mind. You can spend a secret and exhaust it. Comes in with 3 to test book 1 for each point you succeed by. To a maximum of 3, you get to draw a card. When you have probably 6 book, this is going to draw you a lot of cards. You can look at this as like another version of Scroll of Prophecies if you've already decided on your 5 mystic cards, and that's not one of them.
This one takes up a arcane slot instead of a hand slot as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Higher Education, the level 0 version, while you have 5 more cards in your hand, spend a resource, you get +1 brain, spend a resource, you get +1 book. Notably, you don't get the upgraded one, but you can...
like fine at level 0.
Yeah, and again, it's better if you don't have to put this into your hand to play it. You can play it from the top of your deck.
Yeah, it's a nice filler card.
Winning Green, while you have a tome or relic asset, if only we had those in this video, you get +1 book. After you reveal a location or put a new location to play, you can exhaust Winning Green, search the top 6 cards of your deck for a tome or relic, and draw it. More book is good, and if you're planning on playing a lot of tomes, this is a good option for you, especially if you're like looking for multiple ways to fish them out as well.
Yep.
Burning the Midnight Oil should be a staple at this point, but it's not in the staple video. You just can investigate. When it begins, gain 2 resources. Very nice. Cryptic Writings, after you play it, you gain 2 resources when it's played, and after you draw it during your turn, you get to play it. Just like the Winds of Change, but for resources.
When you could draw it.
If only. If only Norman had that.
Yep.
Now, that's not actually Norman Withers in the art for Occult Invocation. I know you're
Harvey
like,
Walters.
It is Harvey Walters. Like, and that's an old man with white hair.
Man.
No.
Yeah.
But as additional cost to play it, you can discard up to 2 cards from your hand. Fight. This attack uses book instead of fist. Wow. And you get +1 book and deal +1 damage to the attack for each card discarded as part of this card's cost. This works really well with the Edge of the Earth tricolor ones as well, because you can use it to pay for it or boost it up, because it does happen to be a spell. And this can also be found with Arcane Initiate, which is a really cool option.
Yep.
And you'll probably have cards that you can discard to make this deal the damage you want it to.
Probably.
Here's my favorite, my least favorite slide.
Wow.
Azure Flame, Clairvoyance, Ineffable Truth, Damage, Clues,
like this one?
and Evasion. You can find us talking about those in the spell video. I want to give an additional shout out to Ineffable Truth. The card has always been is better than we used to give it credit for because it's an evade that also damages. So I'll give it the respect it deserves for a few seconds. All right, last few cards here. The Robes of Endless Night, the other body slot that Travis called. When you play a spell card, you can exhaust Robes of Endless Night, reduce the cost of that card by 1. Man, that makes cards on the top of your deck cost like
nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. It's really nice.
You show your like special rares or something for 0, you're like,
that's really good.
what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's really good. And then we have Guts, the level 2 version, gives you 3 brain. If you succeed, you draw a card. If you succeed by 2 or more, you draw 2. And then we have the level 4 Arcane Studies. These cards are like, I love these cards.
They're pretty juiced.
They're hard to like find the place for them because they're very experience heavy, but they do work. It has 2 resources. You replenish them at the start of the round, and now you can spend resources from your resource pool or from Arcane Studies to get the brain and book.
Yeah, I find myself playing these fairly often, like late into a campaign. My deck's done. I'm like, I don't really have this been my experience on. I'm like, oh, let's take out like some skill card and put this in.
Yeah. With that said, though, they actually do work really well with Down the Rabbit Hole, right? Mm-hmm. Because you actually can upgrade into like at a pretty good rate because it's 1 experience to get the
it's like 1 per
2.
level.
Yeah. All right,
Nice.
Travis, the deck.
Yeah.
Hello, Russ. Did you have a good time with Brent on the floor?
Okay, we got Fingerprint Kit because this is basically a purple spell, clue gang spell, but in yellow. Hawkeye folding cameras because we like to boost the 2 stats that we're using for everything.
Is that why St. Hubert's Key is here?
Yeah, yeah, it is actually. We have Dr. Mullen Christopher because the book is the one we're going to be using at the start, and it's also economy for us, and Research Librarian because it finds the things we care about. Crack the Case in Deep Knowledge are just economy cards, money and cards, both nice. You can share with your teammates if you don't need them. Logical Reasoning is a solid flexible card. No Stone Unturned is again a way to help dig out your important cards, and also you can use to help your teammates dig out their important things. Working a Hunch, solid card for Norman. Written the Stars, a fun card for Norman.
Yeah.
And then we have a pile of like strong skills. No Practice Makes Perfect here, which we only have 5 practice skills, so that checks out. Deduction gets more clues. Enraptured can help out with some spells there. Eureka gets you just helps dig for cards. Promise, Power, and Guts are just solid cards. This deck has a lot of different ways it can go, as usual.
Yeah, the Edge of the Earth ones, the level 0 decks are kind of like not a good showcase of what the deck's going to be, so you're going to kind of have to just do what you want.
Yeah, this one has the pieces to like be poised to move into like a skill-based build with Astronomical Atlas, or like it also has the pieces to like be a spell-based deck as well.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Sweet. All right. Well, that's it for Norman Withers. Another expanded guide in the book. And we have next up is going to be Monterey Jack, who is a rogue that turns Seeker.
You guys do that one without me?
No. Sorry. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one. And as always, GG's.